I'm sorry.
Were you changing? Were you transforming?
Yeah. Like, I don't know how they do it, like,
You want to see
literally
me change?
as awkward as possible. It's so good.
Get off your floor, bro.
Oh, I haven't made noises like that in a while.
Yeah, I was telling Brooke. I showed her that link that you sent me to Amazon.
Oh,
And I was
yeah?
like, dude, I got to get off this furry thing because you and I share too many furry things with each other.
Yeah.
And then somebody I work with started sending furry stuff. So, like, my algorithm is just straight cringe furry
Uh,
stuff.
it's
And I
so
can't get
good.
away from it.
Yeah. This is this is the future. This is the way now.
It better not be. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Sleep Podcast, episode 10. Ernesto and Nick kind of had too much banter before the episode. But yeah, give us the recap of the week.
Inauguration.
Daddy,
Yeah.
Daddy's in office. I saw you getting a little vocal on social media.
I don't remember what I said. You already know I was happy when TikTok was gone. Confused how, and I guess I'm not confused. Just surprised that Republicans like turned around and showed their belly so quickly for it.
I mean,
But
Republicans didn't. The same few people did. Rand Paul,
yeah,
like all of the libertarians,
I was
which,
surprised that Candace was so supportive of it.
listen, man, they moved all their servers to Texas. They're in Oracle servers.
Sounds
No
like it's a
threat.
50-50 split for profit right now.
The 90-day ban or the 90-day, I guess, what would you call that? Injunction um is valid until 90 days or they sell.
Yeah,
Um yeah. So I guess they're saying Trump was saying like if we own 50% of it, then we can keep it like the US or something, which I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see.
yeah,
But it is true that TikTok is worthless if they shut down in the United States.
yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the content creators come out of the U.S. Like I would say the majority of them. Like I mean, I'm sure there's a couple good ones from England and Australia, but I ain't watching them.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of executive orders signed. Um,
Yeah.
do you see Omaha Police Department came out with a video?
No, I saw that Gene Stothert and Omaha Police Department put out like a warno saying that they were gonna do a video. Is it released? Is it out?
Yeah, yeah. It was released
Is
last
it
night.
good? About the raids,
It's
right?
it's pretty
Seems like
much like that's not the job of the police department or this city. We're not planning on doing anything. Like
oh
essentially, if we're forced to do something with the federal side, then they don't have a choice. But they're not going to
yeah,
be
yeah, they're supposed to
actively.
be painted.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything.
I mean, it's not their job anyway.
I
It's not
mean,
the city's job
except an executive order
or the
was
mayor.
signed to use all of state, federal, and local law enforcement.
But I mean, it would still come down to the almighty dollar, though. Like, what kickback does the city get? Like, is there like a stipend, like per illegal immigrant? You get like
Like the
two
baggage
hundred
claim
thousand.
guys, they get like $50 a bag that they don't put on the plane.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah,
That's not a conflict of interest at all. Um,
I mean, honestly, I'd be like Dog the Bounty Hunter if that was the case. Just be hunting down
with your
illegal.
leather skin wife.
That's a
Come on,
hair slicked
honey.
straight back. I just shot the
Every once in a while, you backhand her when the
yeah.
cameras aren't on you.
You don't always die from
From
tobacco.
tobacco. God.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, money makes the world go round. So I can't imagine the city would be willing to do anything about it without kickbacks of some
Yeah.
sort
Yeah.
or incentive.
There's definitely a lot of orders signed. I mean, U.S. like only recognizes two genders. That's another big one.
Yeah. I saw people are making a big deal about the military, like transgender stuff, like they're gonna kick transgender people out, but I didn't see that. I just saw that
No
we
one
just
said that.
recognize two genders. You either are one or the other. Like
Yeah, that's not saying anything. Literally, nothing is mentioned
yeah,
about trans.
yeah,
It's all the other in between stuff. And that conversation came up because they're rehashing this whole thing again, which we've been doing for years. Do we lower the standards for physical fitness
mhm,
to allow females into certain roles? And obviously the argument is it has nothing to do with male female. The roles are set to this physical standard, and those physical standards have to be met.
right.
Has
Even though
nothing to
they
do
are
with gender.
separate again, right? Like the ACFT has male and female
Yeah, but
tests,
as far as yeah, but as
not
far
tests,
as
but
like Q course and the more specialized stuff, they're not.
oh yeah, okay,
And they don't want to change that because, you know, like even the Navy, like if the SEALs changed their whatever fitness tests that they do.
yeah,
So I can get behind that. There's a lot of kickback right now, especially in LA because of the fires and the DEI. I mean, that's another executive order. They're getting rid of the whole DEI thing. Like the top
yeah,
5 people on the LA Fire Department are lesbian females, all of them. They're like
yeah,
statistically speaking, you're saying like 1.3% of the female population makes up the top 5 people in one agency. If you want to talk about
like
DEI,
yeah, and
like
one of the largest cities in the world.
yeah, that's not diverse in any way.
Yeah,
And yeah, there's a lot of interviewers that have been going to LA, and a lot of people are like, I can see there being a shift more red. Like California's probably not going to vote red, but it wouldn't surprise anybody if there was less votes for Newsom, less votes for the next
yeah.
presidential candidacy.
Um, Me and you both worked for like hazard response stuff at one point. I do like some of the verbiage that was used essentially to be more prepared. I mean, it's either like you have it and don't need it, or you need it and you don't have it, right? I hope that they move a lot of those hazard response units to be like their own unit versus like an extra duty for the military. Like I know a lot of people that if given the opportunity, like they would do just that, search and extraction and, you know
I mean, there's an argument to be made that they want to spread the federal government agencies across the United States instead of them all being in DC.
mm,
I mean, you could roll that idea up into that, like having an agency like Surf P
yeah.
in remote areas or whatever that are dedicated.
But, I mean, that's what they do. That's why they're regional. But what confuses me is like California has a state guard as well. And so and it's really weird or it's like a national guard, which is also used to be like the people's militia kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've got state guards that kind of fill that because national guards are essentially bought and paid for by the federal government via
Yeah, and I mean they were
NGP.
out. They were out in the Palisades or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but again, I mean it was like a few chicks sitting at a roadblock point and people would ask them questions and they'd be like, well, let me ask the police on that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just mishandled, and I wish that there was a quicker reaction time. For,
Well,
like, they should have National Guard right away, you know, like,
yeah.
helicopters, everything.
Well, you should listen to the interviews of the people that are defending Newsom. They're
Yeah,
saying, like, there should have been more from the federal government and blah blah blah. Like it's all about the federal government. It has nothing to do, no accountability with the state or local anything. It's 100%
yeah,
the federal government's fault. And I'm like, I don't know, dog. Trump's on video saying, like years ago, hey, they need to get rid of this brush here. They
and the
need to
aquifers, yeah, like,
fix the
provide water
aquifer.
for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and none of it was done. And you know, it's no surprise that come fire season, these fire insurance companies are like, this is a hazard, you
yeah,
know, like we're not gonna invest
yeah,
in this area, and I think that makes sense.
yeah. A lot of executive orders. What do you think of the, Gulf of America?
I think it's a chess move
I dude, this is gonna be the best 4 years of content. Like, everything that's
from the
gonna come out is
entertainment
gonna be
side. Yeah.
solid content.
Well, I think the idea behind that, honestly, like we can rally behind it and be like,
Yeah.
America, but I think it was in the case that Biden's drilling ban stands. No one's allowed to drill in the Gulf of Mexico, but it's not the Gulf of Mexico if it's the Gulf of America and it's not offshore, you know? I think that was the play.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, that would make sense. Like, rename, rebrand.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of
Either
the
way.
inauguration, I don't, this is, I'm getting into rumor territory here, but I've been watching a lot of videos of these people like investigating the Obama family
Oh,
and how Michelle Obama hasn't been showing up to like a lot of these events, inauguration, whatever.
yeah.
And word on the street in Hollywood is that Jennifer Aniston is casually in conversation talking about like her dating Barack Obama.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah. That's hilarious. So we'll see.
Huh. Yeah, that'd
But
be
it'll be
interesting.
ironic if that turns out to be the case and I said it. So
I mean, I always said if Michael Obama, like, if she'd have ran, she'd have won. She'd have beat Trump, hands down.
Yeah, there's a good chance.
Dude, I think that just Kamala was just a no name, did nothing as VP. Like, people loved Michelle Obama for no good reason.
Well, if we're just
Like,
picking and choosing random people that fit the category of people that Biden wanted, why didn't he choose Michelle Obama as his VP?
yeah, that's a
I
good
mean, that would
question.
have been domino effect done.
Yeah,
Or if they would have picked a sensible person, like they could have uh, given the vote to RFK Jr., who actually had some electoral votes. And he,
I like RFK. I just wish his voice wasn't so fucking weird, man.
well, he probably would have gotten some Republican votes too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
What do you think of Elon's you know,
listen, there's a lot of that going on.
what do you think?
No, I don't think anything of it.
He did it twice.
Yeah, but have you seen how he comes out on stage in every event he does? It's
I
literally the
mean,
first thing he does.
these guys got to keep the hand open. You got to know to like,
Extend the fingers.
yeah, like get the
Lord.
That's it. Yeah, feel the crowd.
You
Don't.
got to be Baptist about it.
Yeah,
Southern Baptist.
closed hand is bad.
Well, everyone came out with that, and then people were posting memes of like 50 photos of
Oh
Clinton's
yeah,
doing it,
that's
and
it. AOC.
yeah,
Yeah,
everybody waves. We
yeah.
need to get off of that train.
I mean, one of my favorite is like everyone I don't like is Hitler, or
Yeah,
everyone I don't like is a fascist.
yeah,
Yeah, Reddit is absolutely on fire right now. Like,
good.
you can't go to a single sub and people are like fascist, bigot, fascist, racist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the statement that he made that he's going to reinstate everybody who got kicked out of the military for not getting a COVID shot with back pay.
Saw that. Actually, I was thinking of you. I never commented on X, formerly known as Twitter, a single time in my life. I did. I commented on JD Vance's post saying like, "Hey, it's not just about the people who got discharged; it's about the people who were forced like ETS."
Oh, he said
Like,
that?
no, that's what I said. Like,
Okay, because I
I
didn't
was
know
like,
if
"Hey,
they are differentiating that.
yeah, well, they need. I don't know. They need to figure it can't be like double jeopardy or it's not like winning the lottery, right? Like if your job, however much you make, would kind of detract. But M day wise, like once a month or like you should be pretty well scot free, right?
Yeah. Well, and I'm thinking of another dude that got out, changed his mind 5 years later, got back in,
Yeah.
and then was forcibly removed literally like 8 months later after
Hmm.
coming back to try to finish his 20.
Yeah.
Um, he was, he came after you left, I think. But I called him the other day, but he didn't answer. But I was going to be like, yo, you should look into this because he would be, he would be reinstated to retirement by now.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Like it's kind of confusing because then what about the people who I mean, and say what you will, call them quitters or whatever else, but like the people who got the shot because like they freaking had no other choice. They're like, well, I guess I have to. I'm sitting at 18 years, about
yeah.
to retire.
Well, I'm surprised. I'd be surprised if there's not some type of class action lawsuit for like 10 years down the road when a lot of those people are out now and they can go after the government.
Yeah,
I could see that happening. I don't think that's going to be anytime soon, and unless it's ordered by the incoming administration. But that would be interesting.
yeah. But I do wonder if they're going to essentially help. I can't imagine they're going to help people that ETS. I imagine it's going to be strictly for people that got discharged.
Well, and that's where I was at with it too, but the verbiage they used was for the people that were forced out. And I'm hoping that that is
Including
encompassing.
bar
Yeah.
from reenlistment, maybe.
Well, like, hey, if you re-enlist, you're getting kicked out in 4 months
Yeah,
and losing your honorable discharge and all of that. That's insane.
yeah.
Like they
I
were
guess.
threatening people and they were making them sit down and watch propaganda that was fake, saying that
Yeah.
it was FDA approved and all this other stuff. They were denying exemptions.
It was at the same time we had to watch all the extremism training
Yeah.
after like the January 6th stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much like anyone who wasn't in support of like transgender or spoke out against the current government was a fascist or
Well,
an
that's the best
extremist.
part is uh that happened right after. January
Yeah.
6th happened right after. So, yeah,
Super weird.
fuck all those people. That shit pissed me off.
Times are changing though.
Yeah. Well,
It
and thank God.
looks like retard's back on the table. Like the kids are saying it.
Oh, really?
That
That's
one
back?
caught me off guard. It's back and some other words too. And
Hell
I was
yeah.
like, "What'd you say?
Hell yeah.
I ain't heard that."
It's like you have dementia and someone's playing music that you recognize from the 40s.
That's yeah.
Well,
I thought I was wearing
you
like an
start spouting
Xbox like
off.
gaming headset. Like yeah, I thought I was in like a
We in the Modern
COD
Warfare
lobby
2
with
lobby.
be like, "You did what to my mother?"
Grandma. God.
Yeah, the inauguration was good. I turned it on at like 10:58. I had to go to get some alterations done on a suit. And yeah, I barely caught it. Walked in, little Filipino lady was like shows up wearing a Trump hat and a shirt that says I voted for a felon. And I'm like, man, America's
Hell yeah.
awesome.
God. Yeah, I worked the night before, and I'm not gonna lie, I legitimately went to bed thinking that there was a pretty good possibility that I'd wake up and everything on the news would be an assassination.
Yeah. I kind of had some feelings that I do wonder if that's why they moved it indoors too. Like I know it was cold,
They said
but
that that's not why. I mean, they had like a whole when he was in the Oval Office signing the remainder of the orders. They asked him
yeah.
several times, and he's like, "No." He's like, "People were going outside. Like they tried. Like people were going outside to feel it out, and they said they couldn't last more than like 10 minutes out there. You know, kind of
Yeah.
like you in your sex life.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that.
He gets
Dude,
emotional.
remember that time in Montana when I
No, I
tried to
don't.
eat that donut in one bite?
And I told you straight to your face before you even started. I said, "Nick, you're gonna
Don't.
choke on that." I was like, "Don't do
Yeah.
it."
And, like, the worst part is they called it a donut, but it was essentially
It's a long john.
like a breadstick.
It's a long john. That's what it's called.
It wasn't even donut. It was just like solid bread, like sourdough nut.
I saw that shit from a mile away. It's like you didn't even say anything. You were holding it and you were looking at it, and I saw your eyes go up and start looking around, and I was like, "Dog, not here." And sure as shit,
I put that whole thing
the sheer
down.
panic on your face.
Yeah.
See, I have bad memories from that because someone did that in high school at breakfast, shoved the whole donut in their mouth,
Mhm.
and face got beet red, like panic. And he was sitting across from me under the table, and I leaned back and I kicked him right in the gut.
Ugh.
But yeah, that scares me now.
I just remember you like putting your fingers in my mouth after that.
You know, someone's got to save the toddler.
Uh,
Fucking eating magnets over here.
what was weird is like we were back in the room already.
All happened so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was much
Sorry.
later. There's a
You
chain
said
of
10
events.
minutes or something like that. I was just thinking of the time frame of like it felt like a lifetime. That time I was choking on that freaking donut.
It's a sweet quest you got back there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of goods.
Is that
I got a
a
new trash can for my
3 or a
office.
2?
It's a 2. Makes me motion sick really easily.
Yeah, you got to get used to that, especially with the VR prawn nowadays.
I like games like if I can sit there
Oh yeah, games.
and like you know those like Tinker like the studios and stuff like that. You take a paper airplane, you know,
Yeah,
like slingshot. Like I can sit in one place and
job simulator.
do like workshops, but if it's anything like Spider-Man that like lunges you forward or like the any of the RPG games where you like like are casually walking, no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
I do wonder though, like if I had like an omnidirectional like treadmill, like if it would get rid of a lot of that.
I think
Like
that would
because then I
link your
would be
brain to body a little
yeah,
bit more.
I think so too. At least it would trick
Because
yeah, it would trick things.
that's what the motion sickness is the disconnect between your
Yeah.
eyes and your body.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's what I imagine too. My body's like, uh-uh.
I get motion sickness so easily. Like it's I don't know, when I was younger I didn't have a problem with it. And then one day I went to the county fair or whatever, the Starship 3000 that spins around. I used to go on it all the time, and then the last time I ever went on it, I was like, I'm gonna die. And since
Yeah.
then, something in my inner ear just, I don't know, it messes with
Was this
me.
recently or
No, this
like
was,
in your teens or
yeah, I was probably like 17, and ever since that day, man, I just, oh, you know,
I never liked like the teacup rides and stuff like that. But for me, I got a concussion and after that it was over. Like I remember almost every jump after that I would just be
yeah,
not good. Like there was one where like it was me, I think it was me, you and Kyle and a couple other guys. We're out back like smoking cigarettes and I was like already feeling motion sick. Like through anticipation. I was like, man, I just know that like
yeah.
I'm about to feel like crap.
Were you on that one night op that we did? Um, CH-47, and we just circled the fucking LZ for probably 2 hours with the door open in the middle of the night. And they said like the wind was like 60 knots, like something crazy.
It's something, yeah, where you'd never jump.
And
Like,
they were trying to drop us like
yeah,
2.5 miles off, and then we're supposed to coast to the unmarked LZ,
yeah,
and it's pitch black. And then we circled it. I'm not kidding you, for like 2 hours, and halfway through I was just like, you looked around, everybody was just like,
yeah.
what the fuck are we doing here? Oh, it was terrible. And then we
I
landed,
do,
and then they were like, oh, that was more just for training for the jump masters. And I was like, then
yeah,
let us the
yeah,
hell
yeah,
off of here. What are you doing?
exactly. Yeah, I do remember. I don't know if it was like C-130 or 17 or whatever. I don't remember what we were jumping, but I remember that the commander wasn't calling it, and like we laughed. Actually, he wasn't the
That was
commander
the
yet. He was
night. That was the
was
night.
it?
It was a CH-47 though.
Oh, see, I don't remember it being a
And
shit.
he stood in that freaking ramp like the whole time.
Yeah,
And even one of the JMs was like, what are we doing
like
here?
dude, yeah. There's no way. I don't understand that. Like where did like what happens where these guys get too afraid to call it? It's not your money, man.
Well, that's what it was. He said that was just more training. I was like, no, it's
Yeah,
not. They couldn't even see the ground markers from where we were. There's a wood line and like roads, there was nothing. They couldn't
who
see
knows where it
anything.
was. Dude, we got picked up in Lincoln though, right?
That was another time.
Okay. I was thinking of a winter jump and we were in Lincoln, like, and I
Yeah.
just felt like crap.
Oh, we've circled many times. This is just one that
Yeah.
stuck out to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember those. A lot of those were 17s. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so the nautical speed that we would have been traveling with our forward speed on the MC6 would have been higher speed than highway traffic. I did the math.
Yeah.
So we'd be blazing in at highway speed, and think of the thought that you'd have to put in to calculate your turn, right? So you're speeding towards the LZ, but at what point do you turn and stop running with the wind, but calculate, oh, I'm still a mile out,
Yeah.
but I have to go in reverse, at the proper speed so that I land on this
by
dot.
hand to try to counteract. Yeah, especially without like loom is one thing. Yeah, I mean it's
Mm.
still pitch black out there in the country, but like and loom helps a little bit, but without nods, like
You know what
or
loom
even
helps
with
with?
nods, like
Tree height. That's it.
yeah,
Because you can't tell me, even with like a full moon, sometimes you can see the ground. But really, what you're looking for is when does that tree line break my visual
yeah.
of the light? Anything else that you see underneath you is just black.
Just is what it is. It does help with like keeping your head on the horizon, like head and eyes on the horizon, because you're just like,
Yeah. You're
like
not
you're kind of
anticipating.
staring. Yeah, you're staring forward and cringing.
I remember one of them, I tried to like visualize stuff. I was like, okay, where am I at or whatever. Oh, this is the one where that chick fell in the reeds in the marsh and we were
Oh
all
gosh.
walking away
Yeah, yeah.
and I heard this like like in the distance.
Help.
Yeah, but no, I remember I saw hay bales, but it was like a half a second before I hit the dirt. Like that's as soon as I could see something was I could see the roundness of the hay bales.
That's actually funny that you bring that up. So at one point they didn't have hay bales out there or alfalfa. They had sunflowers for some reason.
Yeah.
And these things were like 4.5 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
And we jumped combat equipment, lowered my gear. I mean, textbook everything. I was going to land like just on the other side of some sunflowers. Well, with that like 100 feet of my gear, it was like it hit the sunflowers first and then started dragging through it and just like
Yeah. Anchor.
tied itself into something. And I went, "Eh." And then at one point, like the lowering line got like wrapped around like this leg a little bit, and I went boom right on my dome piece.
Hell yeah. And then your
It's
risers are like caked in sunflower
yeah,
freaking particles. Now, speaking of the Montana one, I don't know if you remember that one,
yeah.
mostly because we were dying when we
It
had to
was
go do it.
yeah,
But that was the
that
one
was
where,
hard terrain.
yeah, and they had that tower.
Yeah,
They had
the
like tower,
rockets.
power lines, you name it. Um, but I remember jumping, and that was the one where like a couple of my risers were severed, and one of my toggles was pulled to the max, like on my right side, and the other toggle was like in the canopy. Like I could see the string. So I was just hard banking right, and I was going right for the tower. And I remember Chris jumped right before me. So he was like, 20 feet below me.
Yeah,
And I'm like having to imagine the speed because you're pulling one riser, dumping air out.
yeah,
And I had to pull the opposite riser to try to like equalize it. And Chris was trying to get out from underneath me, or because I kept trying, I was almost going over him. And you know how it's like silent when you're in the air? Like you
yeah,
jump out and then it's just like you could talk like this to someone who's 100 feet away
yeah.
from you. I could see him looking up at me with his stupid face. And he's like, fucking turn. Fucking turn. And I'm like, I can't. I can't. And he just kept saying it. Get the fuck off me.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I You remember Rob
Yeah.
after that jump walking like a lowercase J? Like just- like his back
Do you remember
just
Rob getting
completely done.
punched in the face like 2 nights later?
Hmm. No.
There was a huge, you might have been asleep. It was our fun day. We got into a huge brawl in the parking lot with the Cav, like all out, probably like 20 people. Yeah, you remember it because I ingested an entire fire extinguisher.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then I remember
I still
oh
can't
god.
breathe from that.
first sergeant like grabbing people and like looking at them and then like putting them back down.
Yeah.
Like this dude is like 6'3", like just like grabbing people, like go to bed,
Yeah.
like go to bed.
Well, I'm the first one who acts. He ran into me first because we
Yeah,
were heading back to the barracks, and someone was like, "Hey," and I turned around, and he literally sprayed an entire fire extinguisher in my mouth, and I was like wheezing. I could not breathe, and then someone else like banged on a window, and next thing you know, I see people running down the sidewalk towards this parking lot. So there I am, covered in powder, walking to the parking lot. Rob takes off to after some guy, falls, like Tony Hawk Pro Skater slides across the pavement,
it's
gashes
like,
open his legs. He gets up, they're starting to punch or whatever. I'm sitting there staring at him. Imagine my face is just white powder. And I'm like, fuck this. I turn around to walk back, and I
yeah,
literally smack right between the tits of the first sergeant. And I look
yeah,
up at him, and he goes, "What's going on?" And I'm like, I have no idea. Like I had no idea what
yeah.
happened to get me in that position. And he's like, "Okay." And then he just walked around me, and yeah, he put an end to it.
Yeah. This is a long night.
And it was the same fuckers too that always started shit.
I had to drive back that next morning. Yeah, Montana was sick. I remember like before, or maybe he was the first one already, but same guy. We were on a CH-47 jump, and then they got like these little bubble windows, right? And
That was before.
yeah, he was like doing all his checks
I
and all
think I
that
have a
stuff, and
picture of
peeking out
this.
the window. And I remember he's like he's looking out the window, looks out another window, and at one point like puts his leg up like between me and like you or me and Tram or like one of these dudes, like, and then like leans forward to look out the window, and I just remember this like
I
sack
remember it like it
with
was yesterday.
potatoes in it going like this, and I was like, and it was that dude's package,
Yeah,
like pushed I'm sure
full
it's large
stretch.
anyway, but it was just like in the harness. Well, yeah, it was full
Cupped.
force. And it was warm, and it was
Well, it was me and Blake sitting across from you. Cuz
yeah,
I know either I have a photo or Blake has a photo of you looking like this, and it's just
yeah,
his cock meat sandwich right here, and
yeah,
he's got one leg up, and you're just like, "Dad?"
yeah,
I miss him. Guy was a freaking giant.
yeah. I think he retired recently.
I used to wake up when we had the shared bunks out in the wilderness when we were over yonder. You remember those shitty bunks that they had, like the room. Um, they had like the little cabins that we were staying in,
Yeah,
and
don't
I
remind me.
I slept on the top bunk and he slept below me, and like for 3 days in a row, I would wake up and he would be like rubbing my feet, standing at the foot of the bunk, staring at me, and he'd be like, "Afternoon delight." He'd just be singing.
Yeah,
He just like scaring the shit out of me. And I was like, "You got to
dude,
stop. I don't have any napkins."
I wanted to murder Kelly. Like, I've never heard anyone snore so loud in my life.
That dude
And
needs CPAP.
how many people did we have in that cabin?
16.
Like, yeah, yeah, too many.
Yeah.
We filled almost every bed,
Filling every
if
hole
not
too.
every bed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that shit was like infested when we first got there.
yeah.
And then you remember the foreign commander trying to say that someone stole his fucking hat, and we're all like, "No one stole your fucking hat." Like he was
And I
so
wish I
upset.
did. Yeah, that was like when we went out to go shoot, right? Like it was like one of the first days we were going out to shoot, and he was like, "I won't do anything as long as it gets returned." It's like,
Yeah.
dude, if I stole your hat, like,
Anytime we went out, the LT would make me sit by her so that he couldn't sit by her. She'd be like, "Come over here," like patting the seat, so I would sit next to
yeah,
her, so he couldn't. I mean,
yeah,
he was like full force, like, "Come to my cabin, let's bang."
yeah. I think that's just that European, like,
You remember the food?
which some of it was good and some of it was
The
kind of
suspended
shady,
meat
man.
jelly?
Oh, okay, yeah, the food we ate in the field was
Oh
bad,
my god.
but like
I have
Target
pictures of
was
that.
okay.
Oh,
Remember when?
going out and eating. Yeah, that shit was great. They had great food.
Remember whenever? I was gonna say when you guys got me drunk, but that was like every night. Um,
You remember when you
like we
kissed
bought
that
that whole
dude?
hog. Yeah.
Look at how fast he smiled.
Hell yeah, dude. No, that restaurant, like we were talking to the waiter in like broken Czech slash broken English. Um, and we talked. We were like, "What's your best beer?" It ended up being some dark beer, and they had something on the menu that was like the creme de la creme. Like it was their best hog, like braised and like sautéed in, and then like had a sauce made out of like their best beer. And like we bought like half a hog, and dude, I want to say I
I
dropped
don't even
like
remember that.
it's like $300.
I think that was the same place when we were eating inside, and the guy started buying me NA beers at some point in the night, and I noticed. I was like, something ain't right here. I don't I don't feel it happening.
No, this was the restaurant that I'm thinking, like not the
Like
time we
the
went
open windows one where it was all sunny
where we
inside.
ate outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, right next to that like little communist bar.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I kind of remember that. Yeah, I was drunk a lot of the time too. Remember when I bought that whole ladies stand at the castle?
I still have pictures of that.
You still
I'm
send
not.
them to
We're
me
gonna.
every once in a while.
I'll send it to you. If you make it short, we'll have to post that up. That's one of my favorite things to do is, like, send you pictures of you carrying
Oh
groceries for
my
our
god.
first time as soon as we got there and smiling ear to ear about all this, like, new alcohol that we've never tried
I
before,
spent
and you
so
guys
much
were
money.
giving me such a hard time because I brought over a bottle of Jack Daniels from the US or Jim Beam, and then we get like and I was gonna gift it to these guys, and, then we get there, and it's like Jim
Walls of
Beam, and it
Jim
was
Beam.
cheaper. It
Yeah.
was cheaper than what I paid for it here, but, yeah, you're smiling ear to ear, and just, like, both bags, like, the
I don't
bottom,
even
like,
know how that happened.
gave out, and just everything hit the ground at once, and you're just like,
No one fucking did a thing either. All of the clerks just looked in disgust at me that I was
"Yeah,
even there. And I'm like, what are your bags made out of fucking Bible paper?
yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah," you didn't get a refund or anything.
no.
I mean, it was probably, like, a couple bucks, but
I started cleaning it up and she's like, just leave it. I was like, okay.
like, just go.
Yeah. Like nothing was salvageable out of it either. Everything was in a glass
Yeah.
bottle. It's all gone.
I remember, like, we talked about it the rest of the night too, like, in the room, be like, "Man, sure wish I had a drink right now.
Yeah.
Wish you didn't throw those at the ground." That's funny.
Yeah, mistakes were made. That's for sure.
I think we ended up going out to, like, a little restaurant, though, and got alcohol anyway. It was, like, a short walk.
I still have that lesbian chick that speaks like 4 languages on Facebook
Oh, yeah,
that
I think I do
translated
too.
for us.
Yeah. I have her on Facebook. I still have the cup. Remember? We stole or smuggled, like, 4 cups, but then she gave us, like, a bunch of them too. I mean, we tipped her enough to buy every cup in that store or in
Yeah.
that, brewery. Was it a brewery or was it just a bar? I think it was just a bar.
Well, all the bars there were like one brand, but like
Yeah.
25 flavors.
And then man, we had some kids with us too. And then at one point one of them was asking to get absinthe and I was like, "If you buy absinthe, I'm going to kick the shit out of you." And he's like, "Oh, but I'll never get an opportunity to do it again." And I was like, "And you're not tonight either." Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that was
poor
wild.
kid.
People were like sneaking off to brothels and shit.
Yeah. Well, we tried. Remember? Because like, or not a brothel, but at least a strip club, like that was right next to one of
It
those
was a
first
brothel.
bars.
It was a
And we
brothel.
walked in, and remember it like it just ended. It was like mirror, 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 and it was like four dudes, and we're all like, how do you get inside this place? And then we just like give up and turn around.
Yeah. Speaking to that geographical location, uh, off topic here, but Crusader Kings, or not Crusader Kings, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Yeah,
You seen
it's
any
like
of the
under
videos on?
fire right now.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's getting. I'm pretty sure it's getting like labeled as woke right now.
What? No.
Yeah, sorry.
Ugh. Well, I sat down this week because I've never played through the entire game, and um, I played through it all. I finished it 2 nights ago in the hopes that I would play the new one.
Yeah.
I fucking pre-ordered it, bro.
Well, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 backlash results in mass pre-order refunds as developers are losing trust. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 director attacks me for defending his game after it was labeled woke. Um, yeah,
That's not exciting.
yeah. I knew that that game was up your alley.
How
Is
can
the
you even
combat
how can you even
anything
be
like?
woke for that century?
Well, I think that I think there's a cut scene in there, and I don't know. I'm interested in the game, and I wasn't until I played Half Sword. Um, but I guess there's a cutscene, and like I said, someone can correct me if I'm wrong here, but there's gonna be a gay cutscene it's like a cinematic or something somewhere, and
Oh,
people are just mad about that.
well, that's not that bad.
I honestly, yeah. I mean, like
I can
if they
already
showed a
guess what it's
dude
gonna be.
freaking a goat, like that would have been accurate too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, one of the characters in the first one,
yeah,
like the lead antagonist, uh, they joke about him having relations with one of his captains.
okay,
So it wouldn't surprise me if that's what it is.
yeah. I mean, it looks good, and like I said, if the combat plays anything like Half Sword, which I mean, it looks like it's not like the same swinging style, but like it's way cleaner. Then I'm interested.
It's directional based. It's like Mountain Blade Warband, Mountain Blade Bannerlord.
Okay. What about like For Honor? Because I hated that game.
It's that follows the same. Yeah,
Oh, really?
they
Maybe it's not
did. They
my
said that they
jam.
simplified it this game. Like instead of 5 options, they're only doing 4. I don't know, but I like it because it's skill based. Like you can unlock combos, but if you're good at combat, you're just good at combat. Like from level
Oh
1.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm. I mean, either way, the game looks good.
And I liked that style of combat. Obviously, like Mountain Blade series is probably one of my highest played series of games, and I enjoy that combat style.
What do you think? What would you think of Half Sword? I know I've said it twice, but
I I mean, I don't know what the game is going to be, but
I
the
like the demo itself. Like
Yeah,
The dungeon
I like it too.
in the
I don't
playtest
know
is good too.
what the game is gonna be. Like I haven't
Did you
seen
play
it.
just the demo or did you play the playtest?
Oh, I didn't know there was two separate ones.
Yeah, you had to sign up for the playtest on their store, and then
Oh,
it automatically adds it to your library.
because I played what you saw me play.
Yeah, which is the demo, which is good. It gets a little like bugged out if you last too long. Heyo.
Yeah, don't have to worry about that one, huh?
Uh, no.
Other than
Um,
that, I mean, I haven't heard anything on what's the MMO we were talking about? Ashes of Creation, or is that something that was one of the woke ones?
I know, like Asmongold and Pirate Software, like they had like a
Yeah,
recent
what's that
thing
game?
on it. Ashes of Creations looks man, it looks good, but I don't know. I think that it's gonna get delayed more. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen to it. I feel like that game's gonna get it's just stuck in like developer hell.
I'm okay if it gets delayed. You know, if they're gonna deliver, but
I guess we'll see. I mean, we've played other MMOs. The problem is like a lot of MMOs are aging and the combat, like the mechanics of World of Warcraft have changed drastically since like World of Warcraft first came out to where like it's closer to action based than not at all anymore.
well, everything
And
after the Wrath of the Lich King, I would argue.
yeah. But like everyone likes the action based like MMO that's kind of came from Korea and China.
Yeah. Like I understand the pull for like Black Desert style games.
Yeah.
I like WoW combat though, like old school like WoW classic. I would
Yeah.
like to play an MMO like that with a little bit uh more like D&D style rules.
I mean, remember that time me and you played Neverwinter for like 40 hours and then like Neverwinter online?
I liked that game, but when we played it, there was not a lot of content when you and
Yeah.
I played
Well,
it.
now the problem is there's too much content.
Yeah.
On top of like, I think like the biggest negative, like you already know, I freaking hate microtransaction hell and that game's all about it. Like,
I liked the game though. I thought it was fun.
believe it's pay to win. I think there's like XP boosts and stash expansions. There's like all the pay to win stuff.
Yeah. That's why I'm excited for the game if it is Ash's creation. You know, they're making a very hard stance against any
Yeah.
forms of microtransactions.
I look forward to Light No Fire. I hope that it is because I agree with you. No Man's Sky is like their multiplayer or like their MMO aspect isn't really there. But I think Light No Fire has like the potential to be a good multiplayer game.
I would be I would be very on board for an MMO No Man's Sky and therefore Light No Fire, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd be down for that.
Uh I want to think that me and Nolan are just about done with Return to Moria. So I was kind of eyeballing Valheim or oh god, what's the vampire one?
Valheim's better.
So I've heard this, but I'm also the ARPG guy, and I heard that the vampire one has better combat mechanics.
Yeah, cuz there's skills and like
Yeah,
mash button, button mashing.
yeah.
Yeah, Valheim's really fun. But I think you'll run into the same things that you argue about with like
Like
Ark.
other survival games, you have to eat to stay alive.
No, but they follow like the eat to boost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's necessary.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, the game's fun. We had a Valheim server, me and Overkilled, and
Yeah.
we got pretty far on it. It is a fun game, but I don't know if you guys played it. I would play it. Like I could spin up. I actually have the server still. It just needs to
Yeah.
be, you know, executed.
We got to figure out your schedule. I haven't seen you play anything lately. What have you been playing?
Pretty much KCD, and I picked up playing Manor Lords again for a little bit. Um, that's about it. I'm waiting for the update for Star Citizen to go live build, but other than that, not a whole lot. And I just got put on another shitty shift,
Yeah.
so I'll have Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays off. But I work 6 p to 4 a.
Nice.
So
I yeah, I just got tagged with like being on call essentially, so things are about to get tight for me at least for the next 45 days.
yeah,
Um but such is life, right?
but I mean, at least if there's an MMO that has like guild functionality and stuff like that, it
Dude,
would be
I
better
what
than
needs
nothing.
to happen is I was telling Nolan this. Like I'm interested in two mechanics that I don't really see all that much other than like a couple like smaller games. Like Torchlight Infinite. You need to be able to play your game on PC, console. Honestly, both because it needs to be cross-platform. Like almost all games now that are live service. And then you also need to be able to progress with the phone. And I remember like the first time that this idea was like incepted for me is when me and you were at BlizzCon and those dumb shits announced Diablo Immortal and we played it and I'm like, okay, this looks and feels like Diablo 3.
Yeah.
So like does my progression here earn me any benefits in Diablo 3? And like cuz like if I could just earn like loot caches even or
Hmm.
like I don't know, gear. Like if I could transfer one piece of gear per day to Diablo 3. Like that's where my mind went. And then finding out that it was like completely standalone
Yeah.
fucking drove me
And
crazy.
I think there are games that have done that, like different genres. I think Call of Duty does. Like play something on Call of Duty Mobile and you get something. Or just you have the whole full game, like old school RuneScape. You can play the full game on your
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah, yeah. But that's what
Um,
Torchlight is. Like Torchlight Infinite is just you play on PC, play on I think it's on Xbox, but or you play on your phone
really,
and it's just
it
Diablo
would
like.
there would be some incentive, especially. I mean, think of a subscription model for an MMO where you could play on mobile.
Yeah.
That's huge. I mean, your
Yeah, yeah.
subscription feels so much more valuable at that point.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I could see that.
And then the second one is exercise. So I think me and you both have Ring Fit, right? For the Switch. Like
No, I don't.
the Thigh Master thing. A little circle. Either way, Ring Fit's great. Like for anyone that wants to kind of like ease into exercising, I have a blast with it. Like if I ever kind of get out of shape, like first thing I do is Ring Fit, and then like I get back into like cycling, jogging, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's just fun. Like you can get involved, like the kids involved, stuff like that. Wouldn't suggest it for an apartment because there's a lot of like running in place.
Oh, really?
But I think there's like modes that you can get around it, but a lot of it is running in place. But I'm
I'll throw
surprised
up.
there's not more games where like you have benefits for like exercising. Like MyFitnessPal or what's like the huge indoor cycle thing like Peloton?
Yeah.
Like if you generate enough wattage or have a decent enough cadence on your Peloton, then you earn
Then you don't beat your
a
wife and cancel a commercial.
social credit, essentially. Yeah.
Never
It needs to
forget.
be tied to your social, and you'll have social credit.
I did just
Also,
get
don't run red lights.
yeah, I did just get the little one of those Fitbit Ace smartwatches. They're LTE,
Oh yeah,
and so you can track them and call them and
yeah.
text them or whatever. But they have games on the watch, but they can only unlock the game. It's like tiered. So if you do 90 steps in an hour, you can play this game and unlock something. And if you hit 200, like
Hmm.
there's progression there. So we just set it up tonight, but she seems pretty stoked about it.
Nice. Yeah, we did the
Um,
Apple Watch thing, and I kind of have regrets.
the Fitbit Ace one's not bad. It's you can pay like 130 for the entire year,
Yeah,
and it's full LTE, and you can only call the contacts that you invite, all that stuff. So, but she wants to. We just updated her. She was running Linux. I don't want to say Mint. Might have been Pop OS. Um, and that was her gaming computer, but we just upgraded it to. We just put Windows 10 on it,
yeah.
and we threw in my old 2080. But she wants. I have one of those sit stand desks right next to mine, and she wants to move her PC out of her room and put it in the office here.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, she's been getting into gaming more.
I'm
We
excited.
play Pal Worlds.
Nice. I hope SteamOS kind of advances more, be a little bit more user friendly for the kids.
I think if you could have SteamOS desktop style
Yeah.
with Discord, like you'd solve a lot of issues.
Yeah, like integrated Discord.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just like
I agree.
Xbox. Xbox has their console, and then now they integrated Discord or whatever. It's like Steam could do
Yeah.
the same thing, and most kid stuff you're gonna be set.
I need to use my Xbox more.
Yeah, I have the One X or like or the Xbox Series X, the newest one,
Yeah, the Square.
in the living room, which I play FC 25 quite a bit.
Yeah.
But then I have my old Xbox One X right here that's hooked up to my secondary monitor. Literally haven't touched it in like 2.5 years.
I booted up the Series X, I don't know, 2 days ago just to look at what was on Game Pass. And I'm like, of course I'm paying for Game Pass. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, what am I paying for here? And yeah, I kind of need to jump over there and play a little bit more. Because I mean, there's some solid titles on there, like games
Especially
that I
the
want to play.
games, yeah, especially the games where it saves your progression. Like if I can
Yeah,
be playing in here on my PC and then walk out to the living room and pick up where I
yeah.
left off. The only thing is the lack of mod support. That's what sucks.
Mm.
I mean, you can't mod any of the games unless they have the built-in Bethesda microtransaction mod list or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would depend on the game. Like, I want to play through Lies of P, and I think that's on there. Uh, but yeah, I do agree to some extent. And like graphics, like the graphics will always be better on the PC.
Yeah. Well, like one of my big gripes was I got Starfield on Games Pass, right?
Yeah.
And like I really wanted to play it. I know that since then there's been issues with it, but I really wanted to play it on PC, and you can't mod the game even on PC Games Pass.
It's weird.
Yeah, cuz it's like locked. Like the application is all of the file tree just in the application.
Hmm.
And if you give it time, people crack that to where you can mod it. I'm sure it's probably moddable by now, but when I was playing it before, I couldn't mod it, and I bought the upgraded edition when it came out. Since I got the Games Pass one for free, I was like, oh, I'll pay for the whatever Ultimate Edition. It was only $30, but now that I've spent that money, I can't mod the game, and people have made excellent mods for it to where it's good, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah,
I I've never heard anyone call the game good, but I'd be. I mean, it looks like it looked promising.
yeah. If they didn't
Yeah,
do the whole instancing bullshit, I think 50% of the complainers wouldn't be complaining.
I think that the combat looked clunky. Like the guns looked like they underperformed.
Yeah,
Like compared to like the
spongy.
fluidity of Destiny, right? Like Destiny 2 has some of the best gunplay that, you
See,
know.
my idea of gunplay is not arcadey. So like it's not even in the same genre because I thought Cyberpunk was clunky and spongy, and Destiny honestly I feel is the same. I think it's the same arcadey, like dump a mag and a half, only aiming at the head,
Yeah.
and that's it, you know.
But like at least like Destiny had different what's it called? Like different types of guns. Like there's like a
Yeah.
huge variety. You know, you have about like Halo, like you have the Needler essentially in Destiny. Like I think it was, what was it called? The Telesto.
Yeah.
But you have guns that shoot like electricity, guns that shoot bullets. Uh, the list goes on. Fireballs.
Yeah, like Fallout. Like I think
Yeah.
Fallout's gun mechanics were better than a lot of the other ones. Honestly, like gun mechanics for me, and it's just because I'm in the different genres. Good gun mechanics for me is like Insurgency Sandstorm, uh, Arma, like realism. So it's just different. Like if I shoot you twice in the chest, you're dead. If I shoot you in the head once, you're dead.
Yeah.
I don't care what
There used to
kind
be
of
a
game.
game called SOCOM that was really good for
Yes.
that. Yeah.
SOCOM was awesome. I think I had
Games,
that on PlayStation 2.
a lot of low crawling across the map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other than that, I don't really have much to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did we talk about? I talked about the inauguration.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how miserable our service has been.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. And then we ran
Games.
rampant.
Kind of went on games for a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, I told Nolan this, but the other day I was filling up my gas, and it was like, I mean, Omaha can be a little weird sometimes. I was kind of closer to the interstate, and like I usually have like a kind of like a game sense of like what's going on around me. If I hear stuff shuffling at 6 o'clock in the morning, then I'm gonna like give it a peek
Mm.
and like kind of get back to, you know, reposition my body, get back to fueling my truck, and like get out of there. I didn't. I just like looked at the sky and was just like closed my eyes. It's just like
Take me.
whatever happens, happens. So yeah, I had that moment.
Those are great moments. There's plenty of cases where I'll be dealing with something where I'm like, I 100% could be ambushed here, and I'll just
Yeah.
waltz on out, like
Yeah.
not caring.
I really hope I don't get ambushed right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll have more to talk about in the next coming days with the big changes, so I'm sure we can address
Yeah.
those
Well, I thought this was the last episode.
ever. Yeah, there's
Uh,
no episodes coming out, so don't
don't
subscribe.
even don't even watch
Just
it.
don't. Uh-uh.
Do you watch it?
Uh Sometimes it'll come on cuz I follow it on Spotify, so I'll hop in my
Yeah.
car and I'll have the audio version.
I'll I still do the YouTube version, but I'll toss in my buds like
There
while
you
I'm
go.
at work, and I'll do like a preview.
Yeah, I
Just like,
like just recently started listening to all the older ones cuz I have not listened to them,
yeah,
but people at work
like
have caught on that I'm doing it now, and I think it got disseminated amongst all of them, so
nice.
yeah.
Well, hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. All right. Well, thanks for listening or watching in. We'll catch you never again. Don't look forward to a new episode next Tuesday night or Wednesday morning.
GG.
Adios.